Everything we do is for the greater good. You want vengeance. So do we. It was always meant to end this way.
If it wasn't clear by that intro montage, this game is fucking wild. Now I'm gonna say this to my normal viewers first. Yes, you are seeing me talk about a video game, and I know, I'm a talks about freaky shit channel, but if you just give me however long this video ends up being, you'll see why I wanted to make this video. Just a small little bit of insight. On Christmas 2023, I bought the game known as Trepang2, and after I played it, I loved it. It's like my favorite game now. I played it over the course of a week, and it was the best week of my life recently, not only because I love the game so much, but because Shawty was giving me all the attention I could have ever wanted from her. Now, as much as I love the game in itself, I'm here to talk about it, so let me do that. I first think the best thing to do is to talk about the main groups within this game. The first one I need to talk about is Horizon. The Horizon Corporation is essentially this mega corporation. They do, well, science, tech, and even military stuff. On the surface, they are a very virtuous corporation. They hold the essential betterment of humanity standpoint, and Horizon also seems to stand for honorable, optimistic, reinventive, inventive, zealous, oath, now. I need to say this. They are the main antagonist group, so anything that presents itself as good is usually fucking horrific. That leads us to our main group, our main faction, our good guys, essentially. These guys are the Syndicate. They are essentially a shadow group. Think, well, a shadow group. For right now, we know absolutely nothing about them outside of the fact that we're working for them. And in any sort of game, the people that we're working for, they're usually the good guys, right? Alright, now I've set the course for the actual story to be told, so let me do that for you right now as well. Our main and playable character is someone under the name Subject 106, who, as far as we know right now, has been taken captive by Horizon and is stationed at their black site named Site 14 somewhere in Alaska. We know a few things have happened before the actual gameplay starts, outside of the fact that, well, you've been captured. Right, I don't know if you know this, but that doesn't just happen. It's not one of those cases where, like JFK's head, where it just kind of did that. There was some sort of catalyst here. Dr. Ken Takiguchi briefs the scientists at Site-14, preparing them to examine a subject with anomalous properties. These are invisibility at will, the ability to dodge bullets, and reported superhuman strength were all mentioned. At this moment, Dr. Takiguchi seems to not believe any of this, as he states these were reported by, and I quote, the not-so-scientifically minded. 106 had arrived at 1600 hours military time and was greeted by the scientist and an abundance of armed security. Horizon seems to fully understand who they've captured, as Site-14's chief of security, Paul McClellan, had received a complaint about an excess of evacuation drills within the past week. Due to this, it seems like most workers were kept in the dark about what 106 may be capable of. In the case he, let's say, gets loose. Dr. Takiguchi made some preliminary observations on 106 before he could even test on him. He saw a few things. He confirmed superhuman strength. Apparently, 106 broke out of steel handcuffs rated for 1,000 pounds of pressure with ease, but was restrained by titanium handcuffs rated for 25,000 pounds of pressure. Blood tests had showed a spike in dopamine after inflicting physical trauma on guards, and communication attempts were unsuccessful. All interrogation methods gave no results. After this, memory transplants had been conducted on 106 with volunteers from Horizon's Pandora Institute. More on the Pandora Institute after this. These transplants were done in hopes of gaining insight on 106's origins as an alternative to normal methods since they were unsuccessful. Volunteer 7832 had expired during the transplant process. The fucker died, like straight up, and resuscitation attempts were unsuccessful as well. Volunteer 9335 had survived a partial memory transplant and had muttered the phrase, "break the cycle," before violently attacking the staff and being killed by gunshots. He was also deemed incompatible with life, and I'm just gonna start saying that phrase whenever someone dies. The report on the memory transplants indicates a wait for more volunteers, which seems like they were banking on this working. So the last we hear of Dr. Takiguchi is in a proposal to the CEO of Horizon, the main antagonist of the story, Anton Lazar. Dr. Takiguchi states that the WBE project may be hitting a brick wall. Theoretically, they could digitally emulate a whole human brain. However, the resources and power to do so is not discrete enough. A proposition is made to Lazar, a whole brain transplant. Not a physical one though. The idea is to rewire the recipient's brain to match the donor's, using the tech they have for memory transplants. This is seen as much easier to do since it's more cost efficient, discreet, and they have most of the technology already. Now, it's not stated how long after 106's arrival that this one next thing happens. The Sierra 4 mission report states that an unidentified helicopter was spotted 1 kilometer northwest of their checkpoint B-13. Once weather conditions improved, Control Paul McClellan ordered all Sierra units to investigate. Within the forest was a visual on smoke rising from a crashed helicopter with no survivors. At 5:50 military time, Operation Bright Star was commenced with all units recalled back to Site 14. Operation Bright Star is a contingency plan by the Talon Company, a Black Ops unit acting under the direct orders of the CEO if Site 14 becomes compromised. Once the operation starts, all civilian personnel must be extracted within 30 minutes. Anyone left will be designated as targets and will be terminated on site. The Board of Directors has authorized Operation Bright Star in order to deny any assets from falling into enemy hands. Alright, that was a lot to say. And well, here's where the actual gameplay starts. Site 14 is broken into by a mysterious hooded figure who begins to kill security members. At this moment, 106 is being held in a room with a massive screen. This is either a potential brainwash tactic or an attempt to get him to recover memories. There are multiple files that you can come across and read on random desks in the game. The most notable one is an MK Ultra file. The brainwash tactic here isn't very far-fetched. Recovering memories may also work here because when you boot up the Site 14 mission, the brief description says that your memories were erased, perhaps because the memory transplants, but 106 didn't get those memories back either. You start cuffed and sat in a wheelchair, then the mystery man breaks in, shoots the screen, and you get one good look at him before he runs away. You walk out after he saves you, and you're forced to stealthily make your way across multiple guards after they realize you've escaped. In this moment, Operation Bright Star has fully commenced.
All units were under attack by unknown elements. Execute Operation Bright Star immediately.
After making your way into the vents, you can hear what can be assumed to be the mystery man killing guards and clearing a path for you. Immediately after this, you find a key, some armor, and a gun. Also some dead bodies, and you break free of your restraints. Also, super small but very helpful, if you turn around in this moment, you can see a calendar. and it's the first indication of what year this game takes place in, 2035. You make your way into the maintenance tunnel, and here you kill your first guard. If you throw him into the vent, you get a trophy. Like, it's a really funny trophy. After killing literally everybody in these tunnels, you come across the mystery man who helped save you, having committed seppuku. He drops a gold medallion which reads CV in Roman numerals, or 105. After making your way up and through the office area of Site 14, you finally meet Talon themselves. And what do? You fucking kill them. Now this next thing is important towards the gameplay and the story. You come across a drone floating in front of you. These drones are able to access your memories and upload data packages with a small message. The first one reads, Data Package, Subject 105 Termination, with the incoming message that says, the cycle begins again. Capture means you will be forced to complete your original mission. Now we have the mystery man's name, Subject 105, the subject who came before you. In the final part of this mission, you make your way to the loading bay, in which you take out all of the Sierra units and McClellan himself. Once you make your way out, you're greeted by a mysterious squad named Alpha 3. At this moment, you have no idea who the fuck they are, but they know you and are here for you, so you go with them anyways. It's like when you're walking home from school and a random lady tells you that your mom sent her for you, so you go with her anyways. Your pilot Raven introduces himself to you and takes you to the safe house where you spend all your in-game time in between missions. Right after this is where you're introduced to the director, where she welcomes you to Task Force 27 and says that you and them want vengeance against Horizon. Here at the safe house though, she briefs you on your next mission, a raid on the Horizon facility. The Horizon facility we're raiding in this mission is named the Pandora Institute, which is an end-of-life care center. You know, people who are sick and are going to die anyways, they come here to have a good end of their life, and, well, you know. It says that they're even fulfilling some of their own dreams, it seems. We do know a few things about the Pandora Institute. The first thing being that they sent some of, Pandora Institute's volunteers for your memory transplants. And, well, they died. So, Horizon advertises Pandora as a good thing, although their advertisements for it are fucking wild. Just really quickly, I'm going to show you some of the posters that you can find within this game. Instead of jumping off a cliff, jump into Horizon's arms. Look at this one as well. Due to some of the intel logs, it seems that patients tend to disappear without notice. Patients' families receive letters explaining that their time is coming to an end and they wish for privacy away from their families, basically meaning that they don't want to see them. And it's always the same letter. It's very automated. It's very strange, actually. It's very clearly written by someone else. There's an email that was denied to be sent due to it not being within the guidelines at Pandora that can be found within the intel. Patients sending this email had meant for their family to read it. It says that the staff were very pushy and mean, but most importantly, they tried to force the patient into medical studies and that they wanted to leave. Another thing that can be found is a patient consent form, in which, if signed, the patient consents to the donation of their body to the Pandora Institute for scientific research and experimentation, and also cannot seek damages or treatment if harmed. Lastly, this form will remain intact if the patient can no longer consent. Given that it's an end-of-life care center, this means their body can be used if they're dead. This puts a whole new meaning on wanting someone just for their body. How shallow. Relatable. This is all noticed to be weird by another email made by a concerned scientist, Robert C. Kramer, who we will see again soon. Kramer states that he understands the concerns of morality behind their research, but they shouldn't let personal feelings get in the way of progress, since it is their duty to push the boundaries of science and medicine. That, in the end, the goal is to save lives and improve humanity as a whole. Now, onto the actual gameplay and mission. We know Pandora is a fucked up place disguised as something good. But that us, the player, 106, is told something else. 106 is told that this is a rescue mission to extract Dr. Emerson, who is one of ours. Basically, get in, get Emerson, get out. I cannot stress to you just how important that little piece of info is right there, but I gotta follow up on it soon. As soon as you get there, you're met by anti-air guns, and Raven tells you to jump. So, you do jump, and now all of Pandora knows you're here. The very first thing you do is make your way to the AA gun, disable it, blow your way into the VIP dining area, and meet the fellow Task Force 27 teams fighting alongside you. You get to the memorial and see a bunch of names of the deceased patients of Pandora. While you're in here, you're told Dr. Emerson is inside somewhere.
Dr. Emerson is in that tower. We need to find a way inside.
You get past the first two laser gates and make your way into the courtyard in front of the Oasis Research Center. After the second laser gate gets bypassed, you're greeted by Lazar's voice, thanking patients for their volunteering to Pandora.
Welcome to the Pandora Institute. It took a lot of guts for you volunteers to sign up here, and for that, you have my gratitude. Countless lives will be saved because of your selflessness.
Watch my six, moving up!
A full lockdown of Pandora is in effect at this moment. The director lets you know that Dr. Emerson's signal has been picked up coming from the basement. Slowly, you make your way down to the elevator where Ghost 2 Actual brings down the elevator for you.
106, man of the hour. I'll get that elevator unlocked for you. There, I got it. According to the schematics, this elevator is going to take you straight to the basement. It's probably flooded with grunts right now, but that shouldn't be a problem for a super soldier. I gotta get back to my team. Good luck.
As you make your way down the elevator, you realize the gut feeling was right. Pandora is a fucked up place. The voiceover system greets you to Site 97, which has been clearly taken over by something due to all the blood and writing on the wall.
Welcome to Site 97.
The writing also suggests that doctors within the Institute are aware Emerson is working for someone else and intend to kill him. As you make your way to turn off the security systems, removing the lockdown, a fucking monster shows up and you're told to not engage it.
Lockdown sequence aborted. Reinitializing facility.
We got an intruder site at a checkpoint Maxwell. We can use some reinforcements over here.
Do not engage that subject. Our objective is to find Dr. Emerson.
Making your way down the halls, you also come across something very interesting. You come across the very first Jiggly Boy. I swear to God, they are actually called Jiggly Boys. A Jiggly Boy is essentially a zombie. I'll get into how they're made in just a second. The second drone can be found by turning right after the Jiggly Boy encounter. The data package reads Pandora Institute, evidence of anomalous research, with the incoming message reading, it was never going to be a rescue mission. Followed by an email from Lazar to Dr. Kramer, detailing a defector with all evidence pointing to being Dr. Emerson. This is what I meant when I said that. I need to point out the fact that 106 is being told something else. For right now, the biggest question about Pandora is, what the fuck are we actually doing here? Back to the game though, we make our way to the Rally Point Sigma, or the Pandora Cafe, where we encounter a fucking horde of Jiggly Boys. Amongst the horde is the biohacker HVT, Tobias Lambeth. I want to mention him because I think he's really funny actually. Lambeth was a head physician at Horizon who would intentionally infect himself with deadly diseases and test cures for them, with perfect success. I say this because of how the Jiggly Boys may have been created, which I'll get into in just a second. Let me get through this mission. After this, the environment starts telling you that the reactors in the Institute have been overrun, by the Jiggly Boys of course. As you try to plant an explosive, Mothman comes back to give you a little peekaboo and sends your ass down an elevator. As you escape the infested area, you finally come across Dr. Emerson, who unfortunately has died.
He's dead. There's nothing we can do for him. Pick up his flash drive.
You pick up his flash drive and you notice something on his body. Emerson's got another gold medallion, just like the one 105 dropped, only this one reads 95. Judging by 105's medallion, this means that Dr. Emerson is Subject 95. Reading Emerson's note, it reads, "The final curtain falls. Only time will reveal if we played our cards right. Let us hope the destruction was worth it in the end." The image also shows Emerson releasing Mothman from a capsule. I just think that image looks cool as fuck. That shit is raw. From here on, the director tells you the objective is to kill the subject itself, meaning kill Mothman. She sends you down to the experimental bioreactors in the building, where you have to throw the Jig Boys into the reactor, overloading them.
Looks like they're highly unstable. I've got an idea. It's a bit unusual, but it just might work. Find any infected personnel, throw them into the reactor. That should trigger an overload.
I swear to God, that's the objective. You gotta grab them and then boom. It's actually really fucking funny. Once completed, you look for a way out, but Mothman corners you and chases you down. I didn't know this at first either, but Mothman actually does chase you down in the gameplay. I was actually glad that that happens in the game. You make your way to an elevator that you have to wait for while evading Mothman in a very claustrophobic area. An explosion does go off eventually, and Lazar's voice can be heard.
106, can you hear me? Come in!
Not even 1 week since your escape, and you've already destroyed one of my facilities. Allow me to make one thing clear, 6. You were never supposed to be a weapon.
You reach the Ghost 2 squad you came across earlier while waiting for extraction, but the final fight versus Mothman goes down before you can even leave. So, what do you think happens? You kill Mothman and get the fuck out of there, with the director telling you exactly why they want to take out Horizon.
That's what Horizon's hiding behind the closed doors. Monsters, uncontrollable experiments, all hell breaking loose in their own facilities. They try to justify it all, saying their research will change the world. That's why we're here, to correct their mistakes, one black site at a time. This is Raven. We're out of here.
I do want to get into the background of Mothman and, the Jiggly Boys now because it does add a lot to the story. So one of the original Mothman sightings is at the Silver Bridge. This is confirmed to have happened with a Syndicate team going in to take out the original Mothman. Firearms were deemed ineffective and Director orders a Plan B to blow up Mothman and the bridge. This probably influenced the Director to blow up Pandora and take out this other Mothman too. Yes, the one we meet isn't the original Mothman. This part starts with a Black Ops mission log of Team Falcon infiltrating a barn where Syndicate operators were hiding out, and then they got taken out. In this barn, a large metal crate was found and extracted to Pandora Institute for further study. There's a flight manifest in-game which details Horizon 799 flying from Calgary to Leeds, Bradford, carrying 800 kilograms of medical supplies, 100 kilograms of research equipment, and 4,000 kilograms of biological materials, with the passengers being Dr. Kramer and a security team. Although it's not confirmed, I fully believe these biomaterials are Mothman. Right? Like at least a good chunk of it, right? In another intel log, we learn about a new organic biomaterial named Pandorium by the Horizon Corporation, which is derived from organic resources. Pandorium has the ability to consume and convert organic matter into a highly efficient and stable source of energy, along with the abilities to accelerate healing wounds and the repairing of damaged tissue, so regeneration is confirmed. The image that comes along with the intel seems to be an operation being performed on Mothman. The image and statement of being taken from organic resources clearly shows that Pandorium is taken from Mothman. While it's not directly stated, I think it's clear to see that the Syndicate somehow created a new Mothman, most likely from the body of the original, and were keeping it inside a barn, and then, Horizon just kind of took it. An experimental log states that Horizon did in fact experiment with Pandorium on patients, and while at first it was improving their health, the subjects started to experience hallucination and increase their aggression. In another log, it states that the effects on a human patient were catastrophic. The patient had their DNA rapidly rewritten, took a sickly green hue, became blistered, swollen, oozed a thick green liquid, and made the patient violent. Brain scans showed that the patient's cognitive abilities were still intact, but severely impaired, processing some info and only being able to make limited decisions. This was seen by their reaction to physical and verbal stimuli. The patient would then die by cause of a fucking explosion, which was a result of gas buildup caused by the mutation. Pandorium was making Jiggly Boys. This is also supported by gameplay. If Mothman kills or spits onto the members of Ghost 2, they themselves will turn into Jiggly Boys. So, if we put everything together, we can make out exactly what this mission was. Horizon steals Mothman and experiments on him using biological material on human test subjects, and it created the Jiggly Boys. The Syndicate sends in Dr. Emerson to find the evidence of this, but he gets compromised and is forced to release Mothman onto the facility. The Syndicate's real mission was most likely to destroy evidence of Mothman while getting evidence of the experiments being performed on the patients. Not to rescue Emerson entirely, he just ends up being, collateral. I like to think Mothman was also collateral and not supposed to be killed. I like the idea that the Syndicate wanted Mothman back, but taking him back wouldn't be very discreet, so we gotta kill him. Who knows, maybe they could take a dead body back, but it's not confirmed. After coming back from Pandora to the safe house, the director shows you something important. She has you locate where the safe house hides a nuke. In the event that the safe house is compromised, you gotta activate it and blow it up. The PA system also says something that you'll hear a lot throughout the game, and we've heard it once before.
You're not alone. Don't trust anyone. Break the cycle.
.106 does have the ability to go on to side missions, and while they're not as important as the standard missions, they still have a lot to offer in terms of just interesting pieces to the story. Given these data logs are found, it can be assumed that Gunnarson Complex comes first. Now, on a gameplay standpoint, these two offer the same thing. Hack 3 servers, defend each one by one, and escape. Gunnarson Complex intel gives us a little backstory on Horizon's activities. Anton Lazar shares news about Horizon's flagship product, Horizon OS, to his team members. Horizon OS is now the dominating operating system worldwide, accounting for 80% of the market share. It's being used by all military branches, the healthcare industry, and world governments. However, Lazar reveals that Horizon is under attack by an unrelenting foe. He boldly requests his team to data mine everyone, including external clients, in order to survive against his enemy. Understanding this is unethical, he knows they will make the right decision. Lazar then announces in an email to his team that they have landed a successful deal for military acquisitions for a low cost. However, he then mentions that Horizon OS algorithms have predicted conflicts in Africa and Southeast Asia. It really seems like that data mine request was effective. There's also a magazine interview with Lazar that's able to be found, which gives insight into what his plans are and just a little bit more about Lazar himself. He is the world's first trillionaire. His main goal is world peace, stating that it's the core value of Horizon. Horizon's pivot from technology to anomalous science research is due to Lazar believing the next big thing lies here, but he wants the results to be available to everyone, not just the rich and elite. He wants to change the world for the better and wants Horizon to be at the forefront of this. I really don't think human experimentation is the way to do this. Lastly, a Black Ops mission report is available, detailing a few of Talon's operations. Operation Silent Aurora within Alaska, USA, targets an investigative journalist uncovering activities at Site 14. Operation Icepick within Chicago, USA. This targets a lawyer filing multiple wrongful death lawsuits on behalf of deceased former employees. Operation Nightfall, located somewhere in Germany, targets a former employee leaking human experimentation info to the press. See what I say. Operation Eclipse, located somewhere in Malaysia. It's about a former researcher breaching NDA and selling corporate secrets to the competition. All of these targets are dead. This leaves the last two active operations though. Operation Pestilence, Takeout 106, currently in progress. Operation Severed Hydra, Takeout Task Force 27 Director, who has been made a priority target and is a member of something we see has been redacted. The Iron Dragon Data Center has you hacking more servers to extract data from them. Gameplay-wise, it's the same thing as Gunnarson Complex, I said that prior. Intel shows us that Lazar has greenlit a few projects to help against the Syndicate. Project Eagle Eye, the use of insect-sized drones with high-resolution cameras and microphones to spy on suspected Syndicate agents. Project Sentinel, the use of compromised devices running Horizon OS to run DDoS attacks on Syndicate networks. Project Brood Parasite, social engineering to gain access to hundreds of Syndicate user accounts, impersonating them, create false narratives, and turn them against each other. The second Black Ops mission report follows up on the one from Gunnarson Complex with a few additions. Operation Excalibur, New York, USA. The elimination of a congressman with suspected ties to the Syndicate. It says that the squad who completed this mission were all killed during exfil. Operation Fallen Spruce, Geneva, Switzerland. The failed assassination of an investment banker who is suspected of having ties with the Syndicate. The squad who did this was ambushed at the safe house and killed. Operation Godfather, Toronto, Canada. This one is in progress. It targets a former Horizon employee who defected to the Syndicate under a new identity. Operation Broken Record, within Auckland, New Zealand. Failed targeting of a social media influencer spreading Syndicate misinformation. What does Syndicate misinfo even count as? Like, is it misinfo given to them by the Syndicate? Or, like, saying the Syndicate are good? I don't know, but I'll save those questions for later. Lastly, Operation Pestilence and Severed Hydra are updated. Pestilence remains in progress, but with heavy casualties taken by Talon. Severed Hydra was completely aborted due to insufficient manpower. That really makes you wonder who the director is and where she even is. Lastly, we have an unknown acquisitions log. Between the years 1850 and 1877, a count of 50,000 starts to go down, followed by 2 notes. Note 1. The first prototype ironclad warship is constructed in secret in the year 1853. Note 2. As of 1890, no confirmed sightings since 1877 and are officially declared extinct. We also have this image of something that has tentacles attached to it. While we don't know what this could be, our minds are likely to think that that's a fucking kraken, right? Which brings the question of, what was this clear ocean species and why were they made extinct? I'm like, bro, are they hunting krakens? While not stated at all, I fully believe that this is a Syndicate log that may be connected to another log. There are potential answers to these questions, but we'll see them later. "106 and Task Force 27 are now set into Jorvik Castle, which is now occupied by a very strange cult known as the Jorvikian Brotherhood. In-game, Jorvik Castle was built by the Vikings, then occupied by the Romans, and later by British noblemen who excavated it and dwelled in it. However, everyone who lived here at one point has now mysteriously vanished. Now it's serving as a sacred temple for the Brotherhood, and its librarians are keeping record that we can find throughout the level. One of these mentions barbarians who tried to decipher mysterious tablets, only to be killed by the Romans. They believe whatever these tablets may hold is enough to be considered dangerous knowledge, not meant for those who are uninitiated, and can ascend those who do decipher them. The first librarian entry details how the cult used to be led by a council of elders, but a mysterious man known as the Patriarch showed up and now has led them to be a formidable force in order to wage war against the nefarious Cabal. At this moment, we know next to nothing about the Patriarch, except that he's got that shit on, bro. Look at him. This, and that the Patriarch is collaborating with Horizon, offering goods in exchange for weapons. The mission select screen states that Dr. Emerson's file shows that Horizon sent biomaterials to Jorvik Castle, and that Dr. Kramer is conducting research at the temple, and that we have the order to kill or capture him. You know, if Horizon was hiding both Mothman and Jiggly Boys at Pandora, who's to say that they're not hiding something else within a castle that houses a fucking cult? The actual mission starts with you breaking through a glass window inside the castle, then meeting up with these members of Spectre 1. The first thing you can find is a fireplace where, instead of wood, they use fucking human bones. The first encounter with the cult members is in the courtyard, where a majority of the firefights actually take place. You can either snipe them from up top, or you can be like me and jump down not knowing if the game had fall damage or not. It's a gameplay thing, but there's different dialogue from the cult members depending on how you take them out.
Goddamn. Excellent work, sir. Courtyard's clear.
What mockery is this? This is bad comedy. This is the best the enemy has to offer. A cowardly servant.
After this, you call Inspector 2 to hold down the area, as the director tells you it's time to take out the Enforcer, the right-hand man of the Patriarch, who is also the first boss of this level. You get a quick glance at him at first from a far window, take out the cult members, and you can find the drone in this level in an odd area by continuous left turns the moment you start going upwards. The drone starts with information we already can assume, but reveals something big immediately. Our mission is to terminate Subject 91. It might be easy for the player to guess who Subject 91 is, but as for 106 himself, I don't think he knows just yet. The incoming file of Task Force 27 log 315 pops up, and saying that deploying 106 against fucking Yaraya is ill-advised. There is a possibility, followed by a message corrupted note. As you make your way to fight the Enforcer yourself, if you listen to the dialogue of the cult members, they seem to view death as a good thing. A interlog on the Patriarch's message to his martyrs says that there's no greater end than immolation with the enemy. Cultist journal entries suggest that a lot of devotion to the patriarch seems to require pain and agony. The image suggests that members have had their faces peeled off, and a log states that a mask is nailed to the face as a symbol of devotion. The cultist member making these journals is named Thomas, who may have dropped his name in order to devote himself as a brother in the cult. Thomas was a former Horizon employee with a wife and unborn child, and he states that he gave up his old life because the patriarch offered something greater. His child seems to have been born with the mother not surviving the birth, though. Thomas's final entry states that he's learned to make firebombs and will become a martyr for their cause. While it's not confirmed, there is a chance you could kill Thomas as a red cultist member enemy, which charges at you with firebombs to, burn you together. While Thomas is not a character mentioned within any dialogue, it still really makes you wonder, what the fuck is the Patriarch offering? Now on to the actual Enforcer himself. We know only a handful of things about him. He also left his old life in search of something greater, having found purpose and fulfillment within the cult, and his devotion to the Patriarch stating that he dreams of dying in battle for the Patriarch. Lastly, he states of having nightmares of his old life, and database intel on the Enforcer suggests him to have a military background, which I think this journal log entry can partially confirm. We also know that he is responsible for training the cult members, using these trainings for home raids of non-believers as they deserve to be punished for their ignorance. Just before the actual fight with the Enforcer, Spectre 3 shows up and their objective is to search for Dr. Kramer while you fight the Enforcer.
Spectre 3 infiltrated through the balcony, moving to search the mausoleum for Dr. Kramer.
Good luck bagging the Enforcer, 106.
The actual boss fight has the Enforcer try to kill you with a death machine, but you just kind of say nah and kill him instead. He's got a really interesting line though, when at low health, he says that you are a false prophet, cut from the same vine as the Patriarch.
You, the false prophet, cut from the same vine as the Patriarch. You'll defile this world.
After the Enforcer's death, Spectre 3 captures Dr. Kramer. However, Horizon sends in Talon to rescue Dr. Kramer and overwhelms Spectre 1 and 2.
All units be advised. The Enforcer has been eliminated. Spectre 3, what's your status?
Get your hands off me, you fuckwits! Bastards!
Dr. Kramer is in custody. We're on our way back to the courtyard for extraction.
Director, we've got unidentified helos closing in fast.
Oh shit, it's Horizon! They're landing everywhere! We'll try to hold them off, but we're going to need backup ASAP!
Copy that. All teams fall back to the courtyard. We gotta keep that LZ secure.
Affirmative, we're on our way. Come on, you sorry sack of shit.
I'm not a child. I can walk on my own.
Lazar can be heard advising them to avoid 106 at all costs, but do they listen? No. The Black Ops mission log details exactly what's happening in this moment. The objective is to get in, take Kramer, and destroy evidence of Horizon's presence at the castle.
All stations, our first priority is to rescue Dr. Kramer. Secondary objective is to recover his research. Avoid Subject 106 at all costs.
Horizon has backstabbed us. Kill the dirty traitors.
Bro, like straight up, at this moment, we've got a triple threat going on, right? Syndicate, Brotherhood, and Horizon. Fucking crazy. Making your way back to the courtyard to help the Spectre squads, two things happen. You come across the cult and Horizon fighting each other, and a personal message from the Patriarch to you.
You weren't the first they sent to kill me. There was another. And another. All of your predecessors lie dead, and so will you if you continue to walk in their stead. Spare me the sin of killing another brother.
In this moment, 106 definitely realizes that Subject 91 is in fact the Patriarch, meaning that the Syndicate created him and are indirectly responsible for what the Jorvikian Brotherhood looks like now. Which also means that the Syndicate is in fact the Cabal that is being waged war against by the Patriarch. Given how the Patriarch shows up to the cult, it may be safe to assume that his original purpose was to destroy a cult, but took it over instead. The only thing is, why? As you take back the courtyard from Horizon, Spectre 3 fails to check in with everyone, so the director sends you to find them.
This is Spectre 1. Courtyard secure.
Spectre 3, check in. We've lost contact with Spectre 3. 106, find out what happened to them.
You start to find the bodies of Spectre 3's men and end up in what is a firearms training area for the cult with Spectre 3 squad members literally hanging dead. Lazar is heard confirming that Dr. Kramer is dead and the new objective is to recover his research. You do end up finding Kramer's body, however, you don't find Spectre 3 actual's body, only his helmet.
Readout says that's Dr. Kramer's corpse. Guess this is a bigger loss to Horizon than us. Wait. Spectre 3 actual isn't accounted for. I'm pinging his helmet somewhere in your area. See if you can find him. Body's missing. He could still be alive. Check the helmet cam. It's heavily corrupted. I'll try to stream some of it.
I tried to warn you, 106. What happens next is out of my control.
All units, 106 has eyes on the Patriarch.
106. God damn. I'm seeing a lot of cultists closing in on your position.
After you kill them, it's revealed that this was in fact a sacrifice, and that the ritual is now complete. Spectre 3 actual signal is picked up by the director, and he starts to come towards you. This ritual created a flesh golem from the body of Spectre 3 actual, it seems, and now 106 has to kill it. As you kill it, the director tells you that we now know what the scientists were doing here.
Now we know what the scientists were doing here. Building another super soldier. Nothing else we can do here. Final task is neutralizing the Patriarch.
Dr. Kramer's logs say that he was supervising the cult's experiments, gathering data, and to see if any of their methods had any sort of usability. Kramer also states his skepticism of the cult's experiments as their methods were in fact dangerous and showed no real progress, even suspecting that they weren't honest with their promises. We know exactly what the experiment was too. Cultist Dr. entries state that the discovery to create life through the use of lightning, alchemy, and faith, they would create a new being that would be a testament of boundless potential of, devotion to the Patriarch. What we know about Dr. Kramer is that he was famous but controversial, having found treatments for once deadly diseases and winning awards for them. This was only made possible by Kramer's lack of ethics and using his influence to bypass any regulations and conduct experiments on unwilling humans. We already know this though, right? Pandora Institute patients and now Jorvik cult members, right? Kramer was a fucked up guy. And now he's dead. Final objective now is to kill the Patriarch, and as you make your way back to the courtyard, he confronts you.
So it's true. You really are just like me. The question is, are you any better?
After this, you can hear the Spectre squads fighting against the Patriarch. 106 then finds a syringe that makes him stronger now. For gameplay purposes, this allows you to dual-wield weapons now. Once you reach the courtyard, you see the Patriarch going down a platform into a lower area of the castle, and a large fight with the cult members breaks out as well. As the second wave of cult members shows up, you go down this exact platform the Patriarch went down as Spectre 1 defends you. You make your way through the libraries underground, and you can hear the cultists state that they are now burning their records, so their sacred knowledge can't be stolen.
Brother, no! Our knowledge! Our years of research! Burn everything! The infidels cannot exploit our sacred knowledge!
The Patriarch leaves a will as well. He knows that they're all gonna die, but if anything survives, it must be this message. Break the cycle. In the libraries, you come across Sokol first, Sokol being the high-value target in charge of leading the Black Ops mission to rescue Dr. Kramer. Final fight versus the Patriarch begins as he says, "Today is a day of grieving, as we are the second brother he must kill." Which is a big fat fucking cap. If you look at his helmet, you'll see Roman numerals like the ones on the medallions on each of the faces. They read 91 on the front, 69 LOL on the left, 85 on the right, and 104 on the back. These are 3 different subjects that have been sent and were killed by the Patriarch. In this fight, you get attacked by literally everything that resides in the castle, cultist, and another fucking flesh golem. They either made 2 or the first one was resurrected. Talon members also make an appearance as wall ornaments, and Spectre members can be seen sitting watching you. When you beat the Patriarch, he leaves you with his final message, and can you guess what it is?
Break the cycle.
So one thing that you hear throughout this level are speeches that the Patriarch has given or is currently giving. One of these seems to give only a little bit of insight as to who the Syndicate are.
With every passing day, our judgment comes ever closer. Once a band of desert nomads, waging war from the shadows for millennia, swelling their ranks with vanquished foes, merging man with machine. The unyielding cabal enslaves all. Beyond our walls they roam unmolested, amongst common folk undetected. Infiltrating the highest seats of power, soon they will emerge and besiege our holy sanctuary. We must remain vigilant, uphold our oath to the Maker. We go as one towards our destiny.
The Kellington Colliery side mission should be available to you now, which has you take out the last remnants of the cult. They've gathered together in an abandoned coal mine and have started recruiting members and rearming themselves as they carry out raids at night. At Kellington, you can find 3 very important members of the cult that you need to take out. The Alchemist, a former doctor who left the scientific method and now pursues the cult's more mystical ways after the 2020 pandemic. The Archivist, a former academic and historian who has become known for his extensive knowledge and was designated the ideal person for the cult's preservation and future. Lastly, the Chaplain, suggested to be one of the Patriarch's most trusted men, often seen by his side. We have one piece of intel here though, a raid report on the cultist supplies. These supplies are 3 crates of ammunition, 1 barrel of whiskey, 5 cans of beans, 3 loaves of bread, 2 wheel of cheese as it says, 1 bag of potatoes, 4 humans, 2 of them alive, with a note stating that meat is back on the menu once more. Bro, they're eating people. I knew it. This cult not only self-inflicts pain, not only believes in mysticism, but cannibalizes people. This probably goes back to why there were bones in the fireplaces. They were discarded remains of those they ate. My god.
So this was all the knowledge we could recover. Is this even enough for the apothecary? Anything is more than enough, brother. I envy your positivity, Elder. All we can do is carry the Patriarch's torch. Anything less will only bring shade to his illumination. Forgive me for speaking candidly, but can anyone even walk in the Patriarch's steps? We are fragments and unimaginative minds. All our highest brethren are dead now. How can ones as low as we interpret his grand design? You come to me seeking answers, but I cannot counsel you. Earlier you called me Elder. I regret to inform you that I am barely a year older than yourself. Our generation is full of children, all of us orphans. All we can do now is survive and preserve what little culture we have left. And reunite with our lost kin. Perhaps with our combined knowledge, maybe we'll see the Patriarch's illumination once more.
The gameplay itself for this side mission is a wave defense or clear out area. In Regain, Algeria, Task Force units down a Horizon cargo plane with tech and weapons that would have been sold to an African warlord. Our objective is to find and destroy the cargo itself. Given the Gunnarson Complex intel, this could have been going to where the predicted conflict was supposed to be. All we know is they were getting high-powered stuff. 400 units of triple-barreled rotary machine guns. That's hard to say, rotary? Yeah, there you go. 300 units of bolt launcher module weapons, 150 units of next-generation targeting systems or homing grenade attachments on the grenade launcher, 50 crates of various ammo types, and assorted spare parts and maintenance equipment. Before you leave, Quartermaster tells you that Horizon has already deployed their men at the crash site, so you'll have to expect them there.
Careful out there. Horizon's already deployed their men at the crash site. We're playing catch-up.
The area itself is near a former nuclear testing area, so it's highly irradiated. This does affect the gameplay as you won't be able to reach certain enemies once they're within the containment fields. This is another wave defense or clear out area, so nothing fancy, but you do come across some HVTs, most notably Hellfire, who is testing an experimental portable rocket artillery system. All just to kill you. And yeah, he pelts you with these fucking rockets. I despise him. But I guess that's the point, right? Site 83 is the next main mission in the game, taking place in a remote area in Siberia. What we know about this area is an article on giant Siberian craters with unknown causes. Locals fear that these craters are portals to other dimensions or works of ancient deities. These craters give a sense of dread and unease which raise questions about the true nature of our world. Site 83 in Siberia is the area 106 is being sent into. History logs about Site 83 detail everything we need to know about the area we're going to right now. Site 83 was a former Soviet military base that had been built sometime during the 70s. While the base was active, the Soviets had discovered a mysterious crystal which they labeled Object 83. The discovery had been met with excitement, but then quickly turned into horror as stuff had been disappearing. A filtration system had been installed into the base, and this led to a gas mask protocol to be set in place as well. The Soviet government abandoned and sealed up the base after an incident in '86, which resulted in a rushed evacuation. Before personnel could escape, the entrances had already been sealed by concrete. This led them to be trapped and never found. This forgotten base was reopened by Anton Lazar and Horizon in 2035, and at this time, it's currently being studied. Subject 83 is now the designated name for this mysterious crystal, and reports from Horizon staff mentioned strange occurrences of small objects disappearing or moving. They believed it to be from the gas emitted from the crystal, but confirmed through security cameras that objects did in fact disappear. The cameras themselves, however, would lose signal whenever this happened. Scientist logs detail an accidental shocking of Subject 83 during a power surge. The crystal grew brighter, but the strange activity increased. Shortly after this, along with more objects, one security team member went missing and was unable to be located. An electrical current was fired at the crystal. No one went missing, but unexplainable voices were heard, which couldn't be picked up by recording equipment. Suddenly, the missing security guard's helmet camera was switched on. Some of the logged missing objects were seen, but the location was unknown and the camera's coordinates were somewhere in the Gulf of Guinea. An expedition team was sent in to locate the missing guard. Equipped with cameras and 10 days' supplies, they approached the crystal and were immediately sucked into it. They found themselves in an area consisting of yellow plaster walls, carpets, and fluorescent lights. 30 kilometers were mapped out by the team over one day, but the area looked to be endless. On day 3 of the expedition, teams were split into Alpha, Bravo, Charlie to cover more ground at once. Bravo team emitted loud static at one point, and when the other two teams moved into their location, only their mutilated remains were found. The surviving teams requested evacuation, but their location was still unknown. On the 5th day of the expedition, it's reported that corporate was looking to get involved in order to prevent the situation from getting worse. Expedition team members reported seeing movement and hearing voices in the shadows. Due to camera feeds failing to pick this up, they believed they were hallucinating. On the final expedition report, day 7, the expedition teams emitted loud, deafening static, and all camera feeds were cut to those overseeing them. Gas alarms had gone off, and everyone went for a gas mask. However, those who couldn't find one in time suffered an unknown fate. Those still alive radioed to send out a distress call, but corporate has shut everything off. This was probably done in an attempt to avoid a PR incident. At this moment, remaining team members shelter within Site 83, hoping to be rescued. Can you imagine that though? Having your power shut off and your request for help ignored? Right? Horizon being bad people? I don't believe that. This is where 106 and 27 come into play now. Nearby civilians had been evacuated earlier due to a reported gas leak, and you have been sent in to investigate the repurposed military base. Just before you leave, Raven tells you that you remind him of the last guy he flew. Probably meaning 105, right?
You know what? You kind of remind me of the last guy I flew. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Let's go.
For now though, this is just a neat little detail in the dialogue. As you start the mission, 106 and 2 members of the Phantom team make their way down an elevator into the lower areas of the facility as communications start to cut off.
Signal's getting spotty down there. Remember to recon the area and report.
Reception's fucked. Looks like we're on our own here.
Yeah. Maybe we can drop the professionalism for once. God damn, my heart stopped for a moment there.
You make your way through a loading dock, through some locker rooms, and realize that everyone is gone. This is when you start to hear hints of the reported voices in the intel logs, almost like they're laughing at you. You find a second automated door, like the one you entered before you get into the loading dock, and you proceed to turn on a generator to get the door open, while Phantom 1-3 and 1-4 watch your back. It doesn't mean much, but if you stay behind for just a little bit, you can hear the squad members kinda shit-talk the condition of the facility. It just kind of gives a little insight to what the squad members may be thinking or taking Horizon as, or at the very least, just the facility.
These motherfuckers set up floodlights, but they don't have the common decency to change a fucking light bulb?
Probably spent all their pocket change excavating this place.
Subterranean-ass motherfuckers. Now maybe all the survivors are hauled up in a panic room.
Doubt it. Facility's low on power, and the temperature is getting mighty close to freezing. If any survivors stayed here in this condition, they'd be dead.
What, and you don't think Horizon accounted for that? I mean, they probably have a contingency plan, right? Just gotta, reroute power to a safe room, keep it warm, have enough food to last it out, and hold out until rescue.
You're giving Horizon Logistics too much credit. This whole facility looks jerry-rigged. There's exposed rocks everywhere. Non-standard architecture. Light fixtures barely fucking work. I doubt they planned everything through before the jump.
You're assuming way too fucking much. We barely explored the fucking place.
The PA system voice announces movement detected at the speed of 600 kilometers per hour, and that running is discouraged.
Movement detected in laundry room. Speed 600 kilometers per hour. For safety reasons, running is discouraged.
Freaky, right? Once it's on, it short fuses and shuts off the electrical fence that you enter through. You're now forced to go through a vent in the wall on the other side. The PA system voice says that shots have been fired in the residential bay and firearms are prohibited. Once you're out, you see a dark cloud go by and now realize that your squad mates have disappeared. Making your way through another locker room, you can see that someone was attacked within this area. I won't show the actual clip considering I don't really know how my own viewers handle these type of things, but you do get trapped in a hallway, and then the doors close by themselves, and then you turn back, and then boom! That fucking cloud might have been the entity that was detected earlier, moving at 600 fucking kilometers per hour. Fucking wild. How the fuck does that happen? So this cloud does seem to have been able to teleport you across to a different area, as the door behind you doesn't match the one you almost went through. Writings on the wall suggest that this is just one of multiple entities, and this is when the unknown voices pick up again. You're forced to maneuver around the entity itself in a tight hallway. Once you reach the other side and shut the door, the entity itself lets out a loud screech. Also, the voice is right. Don't run in this section, like straight up. It will reset your path and show you the jump scare again. I found that one out the hard way.
For safety reasons, running is discouraged.
After this is the first combat encounter, as well as the drone becoming available to you. We'll touch on the drone first, since it's available just before the encounter. The only readable and important piece of this message reads, "Your mission is nearing completion. Will it end on your terms or theirs?" Now, onto the encounter, you come across Tachenko, one of the high-value targets for this mission, for Site-83, and a small squad trying to reach someone known as Blue Sky, saying that they can't hold out much longer.
Blue Sky, you missed your intro. Why haven't you checked in? Blue Sky, respond. Blue Sky, if you're hearing this, we can't hold out for much longer.
I feel like this confirms Horizon really did leave everyone here to die. Also, if you let the first two enemies speak for just a little bit before attacking them, they are made aware that there was some sort of activity in the loading bay.
Picking up some strange activity. Barrier to power to the loading bay was activated somehow.
What? Oh, fuck. That's not good.
And it gets worse. PA system said there is some unauthorized activity in the loading bay. Think we ought to check it out.
Shit. Think we got infiltrated. Or, I don't know, maybe the rescue team. No, never mind, no. It's just trying to play tricks on us. We gotta stay focused, stay with the team. It's just trying to separate us. Not gonna happen.
Once you take everyone out, your vision starts to get fuzzy, and before you reach the door, you enter an unknown area.
Attention. Facility is at overcapacity. Food rations not sufficient.
Opening the next two doors lets you realize exactly where you've been taken to. If my original description didn't make it obvious, you're in the fucking back rooms. Now, just taking a step back from everything, like just for a second, I was never really into the backrooms, but you know damn well once I saw this, I was kinda hyped. As you make your way inward and through the halls, you can actually find the drawings that were found at the Pandora Institute. While there's nothing said or hinted at about this, I still think it's a nice touch, even if it's just meant to be creepy and environmental. I like the idea of the backrooms secretly taking stuff that we've seen before and keeping it there. I should state this as it's actually fucking creepy to me, but as you play through the quiet sections of the backrooms, you hear a lot of fucking shit, like footsteps in the distance, radio static, whispers. It does a really good job of bringing to life the original description and image of the backrooms. Another thing that can be found are Task Force 27 members. While not directly stated, I imagine that this is the Phantom members. Now, you do find an exit door, and all the lights in the hallway shut off with the green light shining at the end. And I didn't know this until grabbing footage for the game, but in-game you're indicated to start running. It's these fucking shadow dudes, and bro, they can kill you. I genuinely fucking panicked. Now that you're out, you reach a closed electrical gate which needs to be opened by a circuit breaker, and as you turn it off, the fucking PA system voice asks you to find it.
Find me.
Shit, say less. You reach another elevator, and Phantom 2 calls out for you, not knowing if you're still alive. A 2-7 mission log believes that you may be compromised or dead. Their intel states that destroying Subject 83 will end all anomalous activity, and a prototype 300 kilowatt laser should be enough to destroy it in one shot. In order to use the elevator, you turn on another power switch, which just fucking collapses the elevator. This does catch the attention of another squad that ambushes you. After this, you can start seeing these other shadow people that fade away very quickly. This confirms the reports of seeing movement within the shadows. Once you make your way into another caged area, these shadow people surround you, but your vision gets fuzzy again, and once again you make it to the back rooms. This is where you come across one of the more, I guess, important or more lore-wise HVTs, Dr. Samuel Meir, also known as Kronos, a theoretical physician contracted by Horizon who was thought to be dead after a task force raid. New intel suggests that he's now involved in a top-secret project for Horizon, and his use of body doubles and experience in PsyOps suggests that there's a much larger deceptive operation going on here. I bring him up because his encounters are cool as fuck. The first encounter is just his dead body. For gameplay purposes, you need to blow it up with a nearby grenade to activate the second encounter. This is kind of the theme for Kronos. You gotta kill one body to activate the next encounter. Immediately after, you have your first enemy encounter with Horizon in the backrooms, and you get to hear the other HVT, the one that we were looking for prior, the Blue Sky Officer, who is just a member of a top secret research division in Horizon.
CS2, we detected anomalous activity in your area. Stay sharp.
There's no real available info on Blue Sky's work, and previous attempts to uncover any sort of info has resulted in the loss of many agents. Within the very first encounter, you'll need to kill this guy. This is another one of Kronos' body doubles, and this is in fact the second encounter with Kronos, but he won't be here if you don't blow up the first body. Killing him just shows him kinda evaporating. After this, you enter a very dark area with one bright light at the end of the hallway. If you look away long enough, the light will disappear, and the path of the dark hallway will change. This may end up happening to you when you encounter the third Kronos body. Now, you come across the squads that are along with the Blue Sky Officer, and encounter the 4th, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th body doubles. A little bit about facing Kronos in the game is that he doesn't really sound human at all. Plus, he doesn't just die, he evaporates. I can't really confirm if this is game design or intentional, but it leaves me with the idea that Kronos himself is some sort of paranormal entity. After reaching a second exit, you make your way out and see Phantom 2 fighting off Horizon, and Subject 83 is revealed to you. Once you reach Phantom 2, they're surprised you're still alive. They reveal the mission to you: connect the laser to the power and shoot Subject 83 with it.
On those sakes! Oh, we knew he'd be alive. We're trying to destroy this crystal, whatever it's doing. It's... What the fuck? What's happening to her?
As you try to connect the power, the Shadow People stop you. Horizon reinforcements come in, and after each wave is killed, white lights form around the bodies and absorb them. Then a similar white fog appears over one of the power switches, which allows you to pull the switch. Once all the squads are defeated and the power is connected, the laser blows up Subject 83, but the explosion sucked you in.
It's not your time. Yeah.
God damn. I'm not seeing any survivors.
Holy shit. I have eyes on 106. Picking him up now.
I do believe at some point Subject 83 was using the PA voice to communicate with us, warning us of danger, asking us to find it, and it seems like it knows when we'll die, telling us that it's not going to be here. The last visual also shows what looks like a crater in the ground, which kind of goes back to the earlier intel reports. Horizon has a suspicious oil rig in the North Atlantic Ocean. Before we get there, that's kind of all we know.
We've been monitoring Horizon's transfer logs for some time now. Apparently their oil rig has been importing more supplies than it's been exporting oil. I want to know why.
The only intel log from the oil rig is about a strange object emitting radio signals to the Cassiopeia constellation, specifically towards the SN 1572 supernova remnant. Carbon dating of the craft suggests it's at least several hundred years old. And that's right, I said a craft, as in spacecraft. Spacecraft, as in UFO. Like, can you imagine my fucking face when I see a fucking UFO in this game? My entire autism just went up. Right, like the fact that it's in the middle of the ocean, making it like real military UFO sightings. Like, I was freaking out internally. I thought that was the coolest shit ever, dude. I think that's when I fucking knew I loved this game as well. So, given the tentacles of this UFO and the fact that it was in the ocean, and that it's several hundreds of years old, it can be suggested that this is what the warships from the Iron Dragon intel log were hunting down. We can only speculate on that, for now at least. You get there in an elevator and take out a few guards. As you use one of the computers in the area, the UFO proceeds to come out of the fucking ocean. You can hear the enemies just outright go, "Oh my god, it's fucking aliens."
What in the bleeding fuck is that thing? This is Raptor, we're pulling out.
The objective is to turn on 3 different turrets and defend them while they take out the UFO. This is the only time I'll say something like this, but I just kind of wish we got to shoot the UFO down instead. I'm sure everyone who played kind of agrees on that one. I'm still happy we got it. I refuse to complain, but like, yeah, I'll say that.
Fuck, no! I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you!
Labeled only as unidentified structure within the state of Arkansas, United States, lies Site 32. We know that Site 32 is housing a scientific research project led by Dr. Giselle Rosenthal. Her team has been handed off this project from a previous team, who used outdated equipment to study the DNA of another biomass within their lab. Dr. Axel Patridge, the senior research consultant, wrote a log on the team's success in decrypting the data encoded within the DNA of a biomass sample. They've discovered its ability to alter its own genomic sequence in response to input data and are now training it to process iterative data injection. Basically, this thing can mutate itself, adding or removing things from its own genetics, and now they are making it repeat specific sets of instructions. However, in order to do this, the biomass requires significant amounts of computational resources to decrypt. Dr. Patridge reveals he doesn't know what caused this, and that his colleagues are skeptical of the validity of their findings. Lastly, he reveals that they are struggling because they lack expertise in these fields and their equipment is old. The last intel log from the scientists for now is an email from Dr. Rosenthal to Anton Lazar. It reveals that Lazar cut funding and staff increase to Site 32, and Dr. Rosenthal believes they are on the cusp of something great, also revealing that the biomass can reproduce itself for generations. The mission descriptions describes a small incident of 3 armed Horizon units who ran away from the structure only to be found dead due to exhaustion or exposure to elements. Intel details that metal sheets have been installed to help hide heat signatures in case some drones fly by again, those probably being Syndicate drones. Once you get there, Raven tells you that there's interference with comms and that you'll have to light a flare when you're ready to leave.
Huh. That's strange. Picking up some interference. 106, I can't reach anyone on comms. Something must be jamming us. Light up a flare when you're ready to extract.
First thing you see is a random wooden house, or shack. I don't really know what you would call it. You have to make your way under the flooring to reach the lab, and after walking dark hallways for a second, you come across the lab where the biomass is being kept. Biomass has completely taken over the lab. It's all over the walls, some on the ground, but there's a main computer in the center of the room, which is the center of the biomass itself. If you look closely, you can find human bodies that were consumed by the biomass itself. Also, you can start to hear whispering and strange sounds coming from somewhere in the room. You proceed to turn off the flickering computers in the back and front of the labs, which read an unintelligible message to you. I don't know if it's intentional or just for gameplay visuals, but fuck it, it's there. After you shut these off, 2 glowing orbs will come out and track you down while completely removing your ability to hear anything, which you have to destroy. The computers at the sides of the room now read the phrase Cogito ergo sum. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that honestly, followed by a message reading data sufficient for a meaningful answer. Turn those off, and the center computer will flicker with a message reading, they gave me no choice. It's not my fault. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Just leave. Once this one turns off, the center of the biomass starts to blow up along with the lab seemingly starting to collapse, and you'll need to make your way out the way you came from. As soon as you reach the surface, Horizon units show up to search for any survivors.
Moving in to investigate. Set up a perimeter around the AO. I want this place locked down.
You have your usual standoff and kill everyone, but I want to bring up the last scientist log. The last log details a training sequence with the biomass. Whatever this entity is was giving messages through the computers as we saw it do to us. These messages in the log read, economic collapse, poverty, the end of civilization, the end is near, the end is inevitable, apocalypse, destruction, the end of all things. The system detected unexpected output and data corruption. Dataset 41, which was being used in this moment, was replaced by unauthorized user A Patridge. Rosenthal had initiated a shutdown, but the shutdown sequence was overridden, most likely by the entity itself. This most likely details how the scientists died in there, but it does leave you wondering if they had done something to harm the entity, given that it apologized for its actions. Whatever this thing is, it's clearly sentient with paranormal abilities. Alright, now I get it, this level is just filled with references, most notably to Poltergeist, but if intentional, Cogito ergo sum translates to I think, therefore I am, a phrase known to come from Rene Descartes. I think that's enough to confirm sentience, don't you think? Visuals and descriptions remind me of Pandorium, but there's no confirmation on if they're connected or if they're the same thing. You really get nothing about this thing, but it's destroyed and buried now. I really don't think it's coming back. Unless... That does it for the side missions, but now we can get on to other missions, specifically DLC. The Task Force 6-3 Command Center is one of the Blade Kisser DLC levels, and I don't know which one comes first. I like to think that this one does, mostly because I played this one first, also because I have a lot more to say with the next one. Now, we do know that they come sometime before the final mission and after Pandora. 6-3's base of operation has been attacked by Horizon. A mission briefing details their exact plans of executing their objective. Captured personnel and critical info. They have insight to the base layout. This is likely a surprise attack. They look to divide enemy forces, corner them, isolate small groups, and compel surrender. Lastly, secure compound and conduct sensitive site exploitation of targets in Chelyabinsk and Kamchatka, Russia, Oak Island, Anjikuni Lake, Terra Nova Islands, Canada, and Twanaki, a proposed island that may have existed and disappeared, attested by Polynesians in the 1840s. The director of 6-3's final order details their compromise and self-termination, with their last action being designating someone we know as Monitor as the commanding officer immediately. Prioritizing escape and keeping their secrets is the goal, but if everything fails, self-terminate. We're told that 6-3 is mostly made up of non-combat personnel, and we may have the answer as to who they are. The last intel log is of 6-3's Anomalous Archives, which is a submitted report from Containment Group Spearhead 2. Within the report, it reads, Lighthouse contain Anomalous Class Spatial Anomaly Time Distortion, with a note reading that Expeditionary Team 1 had been duplicated, and both teams are locked behind a cell, awaiting investigation. Skinwalker, searching, anomalous class, creature, sentient, shapeshifter. The following note reads, local police are mobilizing a county-wide search for missing people, and their intervention is required. I wanted this Skinwalker enemy so bad, I'm not gonna lie. Art gallery contained anomalous class, object, spatial anomaly. Tourists had been scared off, and deterrence measures are needed to increase. Autumn terminated. Anomalous class, creatures, and foliage. An unidentified military had intercepted these anomalies and terminated them, with 6-3 remaining undetected. I think it's clear to say that 6-3 is some sort of anomalous paranormal investigation group, which lead to questions of who the fuck are the Syndicate as a whole? So before you leave for this mission, Quartermaster tells you a little bit of lore about himself.
You know, I used to serve under Task Force 6-3. Most of my men are still stationed there. Take care of them for me, boss.
As you start the mission, Monitor confirms 6-3's director is dead and he's the one in command.
2-7, I see you've sent your ace in the hole.
Priority comms only, 6-3. Where's your director?
He's dead, ma'am. I'm the acting CO.
Copy that, 6-3. You've done well for yourself so far. First priority now is extracting your command wing.
Negative, ma'am. My wounded come first. We need the western cargo wing secure.
Roger that, 6-3. I'll do it your way.
6-3 shock troopers sent you into the western cargo wing to surprise Horizon units in there. After you clear out both entrances, you open a container holding Horizon units inside. It blows you away as your pilots have to fall back due to anti-air guns keeping them from the landing zone.
Kill him now.
Pull out! Pull out! They got anti-air guns! Fuck. Director, we're falling back. LC is a no-go. Fuck. They're flooding in. We're cut off.
You're still alive. Try not to hate me, but I used up all your ammo. Those bastards kept coming. Didn't know when to stop till we all dropped dead. This is Deadeye. 106 is online.
Good work, Deadeye. We'll get your team a medevac as soon as possible.
106, the situation's gone critical, but we can still salvage this. How's that extraction point looking?
Now I have to search for an extraction point, only to find them all caved in. Deadeye seemingly dies here. A little fun note, I guess you can say. The music that plays after his death, it's called Deadeye. Like the track itself is called Deadeye. I like to think that that's his theme. I just think that's kind of cool. 6-3 member Stalker informs everyone the Eastern Cargo Wing is available. As you head there, you hear someone over a speaker saying that there's no reason to wait for rescue because you've all been abandoned.
How many more have to die before you realize your leaders have abandoned you? They abused your loyalty and left you all behind to rot, to bear the full weight of their consequences alone. So right now, right this very moment, you need to make a decision. Continue to fight and die, or lay down your weapons and surrender peacefully.
This is them leveraging our cornered positions to compel surrender, like they had mentioned in their own report. Stalker goes down and Monitor's command wing is about to be breached as you hear a 6-3 defector tell Monitor that he can't save himself. This defector is named Duran, and he's the only HVT in this mission. And he's an operator who refused to be captured, so instead he defected to Horizon. After you save Monitor's command wing and head towards the eastern cargo wing, you gotta make sure 6-3 member Tank is still alive. You hear the voice again compelling you to surrender since we're sacrificing our lives for those who don't have our best interest.
Why sacrifice your life for people who don't have your best interest at heart?
Also, I need to make a point that Monitor's biggest goal right now is to save his men. Once you get to the cargo wing, Tank and his squads with life signals are still running, but you get cornered. The voice that you've been overhearing right now is someone named Auditor, who recognizes both 106 and the 27 director.
Subject 106, and hello to you as well, 27 director. All units, 106 is expendable. Kill or capture, I don't care.
Oh, we'll take good care of them. Supply drop incoming. Hang in there.
After you kill everyone, extraction looks to be finally available. However, Pilot Sparrow is surprise attacked and goes down.
Director, we got eyes on the eastern cargo wing. It won't be easy, but we can definitely extract the wounded from here. We'll drop some cables. Stand by for pickup, 106.
Charge set.
6-3, you gotta seal those sky doors right now. I'm hit! Mayday! Mayday! I'm going down!
Sparrow!
A argument of sorts is played out between 6-3 and the 27 director. I don't really know how else to explain it outside of, let me just show you this.
Hey, 6-3, you've gotta have another extraction point somewhere.
Fuck! That was our only way out!
6-3, you need to cut your losses and extract without your wounded.
We can't just leave them.
Task Force agents can't fall into enemy hands.
Captured or not, my men are loyal.
6-3, this isn't a question about loyalty. Horizon knows how to make anyone talk. 106, terminate them.
Take care of my team first. What are you doing? Son of a bitch.
It's done. 6-3, your director would have done the same thing. It's not easy for any of us. You need to focus on the people you can save, or you'll all die trying to rescue everyone.
Mono, this is Firefly. We're surrounded in the excavation wing. We need support now!
See what you can do to help them, 106.
The director clearly sees this as what needs to be done, and truth be told, I don't know who's in the right here. Before you can even process anything, the evacuation wing is now in need of help, and you're sent in. Otter proceeds to mock the fact that you just terminated Tank Squad as you make your way out there.
If you don't surrender, then either way you're dead. Either my men will kill you, or 106 will.
Once you reach it, Monitor traps you between two sealed doors.
6-3, what's going on? Open the door.
Task Force 6-3, stand down. Lower your weapons.
Sir, what the hell are you doing?
Saving all of us. We got a better shot with Horizon than the Syndicate at this point.
Let's get your men out of here.
Stand back, 106. Getting this door open.
Looks like your people are dead set on killing us, Ace. For what it's worth, I don't hate you.
Mike, down to this piece of shit, man. What was that? Oh, fuck, oh, fuck!
As of now, 6-3 is now designated hostile. From this point forward, 6-3 and Talon are the enemies we're facing. You breach into Monitor's command wing and are set to destroy their intel so Horizon doesn't get their hands on it. You take out and kill Monitor, but after all this, the base itself starts to self-destruct, and you're forced to escape.
106, looks like the whole facility is gonna self-destruct. You need to find a way out now.
Ah, screw it! I'm going in! Raven, those anti-air guns will tear you to pieces! Fucking hell! Eagle, stay back! I'll back up Raven! There he is. Well, I'll be damned.
Before we even get to the next mission, I gotta acknowledge it again. They made us kill our own teammates. Like, bro, this game is the embodiment of just the phrase "fuck yeah," and now I'm crying in my fucking room. I have no idea how this is happening. The second DLC mission is the Omega facility, also known as Site-44. Site-44 is a series of oil rigs that are close together, housing something named Project Icarus. The main targets here are Dr. Shane Blackwell and Captain Cassius Morrison. Blackwell had rivaled Dr. Kramer in the field of anomalous science early on in their respective careers, but then they teamed up together. Blackwell was too modest. This hindered his ability for a research grant, where Kramer was seen as a charismatic individual. Blackwell did faster work, where Kramer got more attention. This partnership worked for them both, and when Kramer joined Horizon, he offered Blackwell the lead position at Site-44. Captain Morrison is Site-44's chief of security, and a former Royal Navy submarine captain. He fought in something named the Pirate War, in which a torpedo hit a suspected pirate submarine, only to reveal that all these passengers in that submarine were trafficking victims. This was covered up and forced Morrison into retirement. He pursued an MBA and eventually ended up at Horizon. Site-44's performance review is seen in an email between Dr. Blackwell and Dr. Marcus, Lazar's right-hand man, essentially, stating that with the loss of Pandora, Horizon has diverted fundings to Sites 19A, 19B, Site 51, and 102. Here, candidates receive an increased funding. However, Marcus negotiated successfully with Lazar for Site-44 to receive it instead. Marcus states that his faith in Project Icarus is unshakable, but his faith in Blackwell specifically has been shaken. Blackwell has everything he needs, part of Pandora's staff, the funding, having been appointed to Site-44 by Dr. Kramer, and most importantly, Lazar's blessing. Dr. Blackwell believes that all they need is time, something which Marcus is very unwilling to give. Another email message between Marcus and Blackwell can be found, which details miracle water testing and reveals to us that Anton Lazar has a disease. There is a big reveal for who is in these intels, but I'm gonna save that for when you actually see this person. Every iteration has had apoptosis, and the case for this is unknown. Now will stay that way. This specific subject has become immune to the regenerative properties within Site-44's miracle water. This iteration 62 will be the last, no, the 63rd resurrection. The last email can be found from Dr. Blackwell, which is one sent to Pandora's Dr. Clark, whose name can be seen in the Pandora Institute mission. It details the funding of the miracle water, promising results, but with a chaotic mixture. Specimens had developed full-body regeneration, but dissolved within 16 hours on average, with the longest going for 79 hours. Blackwell believes that, with enough refinement, this can neutralize the flaws found within Pandorium. Lastly, Blackwell receives an auto reply that says all Pandora personnel are no longer employed by Horizon. So this mail was sent sometime after Pandora went down. However, it seems that those at Site-44 didn't know when it happened. Finally, a private message between Blackwell and Morrison can be read. Blackwell is aware that Dr. Marcus wants him replaced, and that he was going to resign with part of his staff joining him in solidarity. This is because they didn't want to answer to someone without a scientific background. Blackwell convinced his staff to remain on the project to work under Morrison, as it's Morrison who will be replacing Blackwell at Site-44, with hopes that Morrison will continue his work the way it's meant to be carried out. Once we're deployed to the mission, it's made clear that 2-7 doesn't know what the fuck Site-44 is.
Now this will be Rey's first operation in Task Force 2-7, so don't show him up too bad, boss.
106 is sent in to secure it and destroy it if necessary. Now, this starts off with taking control of each central platform. You draw a few bridges while raid squads create diversions for you to get across them. The first objective is to reach Omega Facility 2. This is where Dr. Blackwell is stationed. Blackwell refuses to leave since he believes his work isn't finished and sends out his best men to protect him. Wraith 1 Actual lets you know that Blackwell is right underneath you, and you'll have to go inwards to get him.
Blackwell, what the hell are you doing? You've got to get out of there! We can't let them destroy Project Icarus, I'm begging you!
Heat sinks are exposed. Destroying them causes a meltdown in Omega 2. Dr. Blackwell is killed, and the rig collapses in on itself, with everyone falling back to Omega 3.
Omega 2, melting down. Evacuate the facility.
All units, fall back to the Omega 3 platform now.
As you head towards Omega 3, Raven and Falcon get hit by anti-air missiles and reveal that these guys have got some submarines in the waters. Schematics found throughout the level reveal this to be a nuclear-powered submarine. Once you reach Omega 3, Omega 4 is revealed to be your main destination, and when you reach the base of Omega 3, you take out a couple of guys and see the submarine for the first time as it starts to launch pods holding enemies at you. You're not gonna believe this one.
All hands, battle stations, prep for contact. Begin ascension.
Beginning ascension.
Blowing ballast tanks.
Drop pods loaded.
Targeting systems online.
Weapons check complete.
Surface.
Fire at will.
Once you reach the end of Omega 3, you have to fight the submarine itself. Alright, so what's the move here? You gotta shoot it until it explodes. Submarine is gonna launch rockets at you, and just pro tip in case anyone ends up playing this game, I didn't know this until like a month after the DLC came out, but you can shoot the rockets out of the air. That's really helpful. Your pilots do come back to get the final blow on them, and Captain Morrison and his crew are killed.
Ascend! Ascend! Ballast tanks are busted!
Guys, we really need a medic! He's burnt to a fucking crisp!
Engines offline. Let's start it up. Take that, fucking prick.
Hey buddy, we're back. Thanks for taking out that jackass.
Alright team, you know the drill. Circle around, find targets. Let's get this wrapped up.
And what's really fucked up in this game is that I gotta jump on these platforms, right, to get to Omega 4. As you're doing that, you can hear them drowning. No music, no dialogue, nothing. It's just people drowning. I feel bad, but then again, they shot a rocket at me, so no, I don't feel bad. The entrance to Omega 4 is there immediately, but before you reach it, if you wait and listen to the dialogue between Wraith 2 Actual and Wraith 2-4, 2-4 asks about the situation regarding Ghost, right? If you remember, the Ghost Squads were the ones who accompanied you into Pandora. It was just a small detail I noticed.
So, what's the word on Ghost?
Nothing new. Half the platoon is still MIA and the rest are KIA.
I mean, I got that part already. I was just asking if...
No. If anyone knew anything, I wouldn't be the first one to tell you.
In the final intel log that you can find to the right before the entrance, it's a captain's log of the CSS Icarus from July 3 to the 16th, 1864. The Icarus had a stored artifact on board after a mission they went on. AB Ardich Wenger is believed to have gone insane. He reported a black ship during the night and sighted a hooded figure wielding a sword. Wenger's throat was found slit. Whoever wrote this believes that this was due to shame. It ends with Icarus's ammo being detonated, the ship was set ablaze, and the men nowhere to be found. This may be a follow-up on the Iron Dragon Data's intel log about the Iron Warclad thing. That also took place in the 1800s, and this one seemed to take place right in the middle of all of that. Once you're in, the director picks up multiple signals of 2-7 operatives. As you walk through Omega 4, you can hear Blackwell's voice thanking the staff for the work they have put in. You can also hear the words 105.
Warning. Comlink offline.
106, I'm picking up a signal near your position. Hold up. Multiple signals. But they're all Task Force 2-7 operatives.
Colleagues, this is Blackwell. Although we've reached my great, I must resign from my position. My fellow colleagues, this is Blackwell. Although we've made great strides, I regret to inform you that I no longer agree with the direction of this project. So I will be resigning from my position as overseer. It's been a privilege, gentlemen. Now, I hereby hand off the facility to Captain Morrison. He has my full endorsement. This project. I regret to inform you that I no longer agree with the direction of this project. It's been a privilege, gentlemen. So I will be resigning from my position as overseer. It's been a privilege, gentlemen.
When you reach the room with the unidentified voice, you see pods holding the bodies, and if you look closely to them, they look like 106. You do reach the test subject that was mentioned within the earlier intel logs.
Director. Extraction.
That can't be. Looks like he's interlinked with the facility systems. Guessing Horizon had to shut him down. Patch me into that terminal 106.
Morrison, my He has my full endorsement.
Alert. Unauthorized access detected. Activating emergency security protocol.
I regret to inform you that I no longer agree with the direction of this project.
As you try to connect the director to the facility, a security protocol activates. These bodies within the pods start to hunt you down. At some point, Dr. Emerson's body was taken by Horizon and sent to Site 44. They are now using this miracle water on him, and given that this is Iteration 62, Emerson's body has been essentially cloned 62 times. Once they're defeated, Emerson wakes up from an unconscious state and says that his service has been completed.
9-5. Reporting. Service completed. Why am I still alive? 05. Is that you?
Dr. Emerson.
Director? They're getting desperate. Is this still trying to break the cycle?
We won't let them. It's time for you to retire now.
Can't kill me from there. Come closer.
Access to mental development sector authorized.
He leaves you with one final message.
So they cloned me, broke my copies down instead.
We've seen enough. 106, terminate subject 095.
You can't save me. Melt down the facility. I already died once. Need to die twice.
It's been a privilege to hear.
The cycle continues with you.
Project Icarus is in fact the experimentation done to clone Dr. Emerson with the use of the miracle water and Emerson's remains. Not only is that the case, Horizon was conditioning these clones to undergo brainwashing, sort of the same way they did to 106, as it can be seen in the mental development area. The clones you fight also have a lot of similarities to 105 and 106, like your abilities to cloak and slide into others. Also, to me, it's a little strange that Emerson doesn't recognize 106, confusing him to be 105. The only thing I can get from this is that at some point, 105 and Emerson were active at the same point. Once Emerson is terminated, the facility starts to collapse in on itself and you gotta escape.
Alert. Omega 05. Melting down. Evacuate immediately.
We're finally done here, 106. Get to the rooftop and extract.
This has the exact same ending as the command center, but oh well. From here, you're safe to extract.
What's the matter? Want to stay and watch the light show? Yeah, I feel you. Not my kind of thing either. Let's go.
So now, we've made it. This is 106's final mission, to take down Horizon for good. Horizon has had their sensitive information leaked by anonymous hackers to the public, human experimentation at Pandora, and leaked cover-ups of employee deaths due to terrorist attacks have led to the resignation of many employees. This has resulted in Horizon's stock price plummeting and board members demanding Lazar turn himself into the authorities. Lazar blames all of this on a conspiracy about a shadow group controlling the world. He might not be far-fetched. Lazar also makes the FBI's most wanted list for human trafficking and experimentation, funding terrorist organizations, with a suspected birth certificate forgery as well. News breaks out that multiple Horizon facilities are under attack by an unknown group, with authorities being reluctant to help them due to the recent Horizon scandals. We're now sent to Horizon Islands, where Lazar and his executives are hiding at Horizon HQ. You make your way through a maintenance tunnel, plant explosives on the inside, and blow up the area. Once the explosives go off, the full assault on Horizon HQ is set in motion, and Shade 1 is dropped off to help you storm into the building.
Charge set. All teams begin the assault.
Target-rich environment. Fire at will. This is Falcon. I got eyes on 106. Check your fire.
Your goal is to take out all the executives and Lazar at the top of the tower. Once you go up the elevator, you hear Lazar's attempts to reason with you.
It's almost over, 106. I'll stop Horizon once and for all. 106, I can barely reach you on comms. Something's interfering with the signal.
Subject 106, you're not burning down an empire, you're burning down the hopes and dreams of thousands of scientists and innovators. Look around you, these aren't military targets, these are civilians. Have you ever noticed how the Syndicate is always the aggressor, always the invader? What you're committing today isn't justice, it's genocide.
Once you reach the top, Lazar tells everyone to evacuate as Horizon is finished today, but they refuse to leave his side. So you do the only thing you're meant to do. Kill them all.
Attention all personnel, evacuate now. That's an order.
Negative, sir. We can't do that. Not until you're safe.
Horizon is finished. There's nothing to die here for. Leave while you still can.
We can't lose the greatest mind of this generation. We're staying, sir. That's final.
It was an honor working with you all.
You come across the drone in this mission that suggests what Lazar told you in the elevator might be true. The Horizon Tower Massacre file says that there is a high probability of 106 developing cognitive dissonance if he becomes involved in Phase 1. During Phase 1, 106 was kept in the underpass, which is why we were blowing up the maintenance tunnel. Phase 2 was obviously the full frontal assault, but what happened before that? Just after making it out the underpass, you come across a destroyed bridge that had gotten this way before the full-scale attack had even started. The intel suggests that Horizon knew an attack was coming. They prepared to evacuate civilian personnel, but only 2 teams were able to do so. At the bridge, we see these escort trucks destroyed. Going up the elevator, strangely enough, you see 2 7 members ominously lining up civilians. The Syndicate, in fact, killed civilians here. Lazar was genuinely right. This is turning into a genocide. Final note says the cycle is almost complete. See to it, finish correctly this time. Making your way to the highest area of Horizon HQ, you can hear Dr. Marcus and Lazar talking about volunteers being lined up for something.
It's hasty work, Captain, but this is the best we could do.
Wish I could have done more for all of you.
I'll hold you to that, brother.
Intel tells us that this is an emergency project requiring anyone with a cranial capacity over 1800 and an IQ of 140 with an education of a master's degree or higher to report to the CEO's penthouse if eligible. The penthouse is our final objective.
Six, what have they done to you? I've sacrificed everything for this!
He's uploading his consciousness. You'll have to stop him.
As he tries to tell you to stop, you have to destroy all the brains he's using for his upload. The more brains you destroy, Dr. Marcus says that more donors are required for this project, but Lazar requires more time. Marcus hears his desperations and asks for the donors to be brought in faster so the project can be sped up. If you listen closely for a few seconds, you can hear people screaming. These donors or volunteers are actively having their brains removed without any sort of anesthetics.
Pass me the scalpel. Do we have any anesthetics left? No, we don't. We don't have any anesthetics. Hold him down. Donors are set. Load them up. Hang in there. Hang in there. Pass me the scalpel. Fuck. Do we have any more brain donors? No, we don't. We don't. Damn it! We're out. Damn, we're out. Unless I'm volunteering myself. Godspeed, gentlemen.
That's probably the most fucked up thing I've seen in a video game. Lazar tells you that at one point he too trusted the Syndicate, but was betrayed by them, and that we are now walking in his footsteps. Raven comes by and drops off supplies for you.
Son of a bitch! I'm hit! I'm losing control! I can't stabilize! I can't! Oh, no!
Horizon 1 Hilo carries the last brain, and after you shoot it down, you can hear Lazar speaking subconsciously.
You've never let me down before. This is our only option. You've lost your way. Don't trust the Syndicate. 105. Stand down. Break the cycle. What are you walking?
Lazar is now dead, and Horizon itself has now fallen. The last interesting bit is a memo to the Horizon 1 pilot from Dr. Marcus. He tells the pilot before he leaves to give Marcus 30 minutes because he may be able to install something to help with the upload process. We have no idea what the fuck that meant, and the mission's over now, so there's only one thing left to do.
Don't fight it. You're our most valuable asset, 106. You served the Syndicate well. It's time for you to retire now.
Why sacrifice your life for people who don't have your best interest at heart?
You were never supposed to be a weapon.
Cycle continues with you.
Break the cycle.
It was always meant to end this way. You're one of many cycles, 106.
Sacrificed everything for this!
Now that your purpose is fulfilled, Cycle 106 is complete.
Subject 105, the man whose purpose was to save you. Dr. Emerson, a created soldier meant to infiltrate and leak information about Horizon. The Patriarch, as we know already, and Anton Lazar. And finally, you, Subject 106. A super soldier tasked with taking out the Patriarch, Anton Lazar, and their respective organizations. Cycle 106 is now complete. We now know what the phrase break the cycle means. It means to gain your free will and stop your own termination at the hands of the Syndicate. We know that the Syndicate has taken the bodies of former subjects and has incinerated them, or is at least planning to. Before you can be incinerated, you break free of your restraints, kill the task force members, and set on a rampage through the facility.
Acknowledged. Terminate Cycle 106.
He served us well.
All units be advised, Subject 106 is active. Containment measures are ineffective.
All fire tubes man your stations! Subject 106 betrayed us! This is a Colonel Brandon! This is Banshee 5, we're outside the incinerator room.
The Banshee leader has the fucking balls to say the most bullshit line I've ever heard in the video game, ever. Like, bro, you gassed me, you tried to incinerate me, but I betrayed you? No, fucking bullshit, straight cap. The director tries to get you to stand down, but like, nah. You take out some of the reactors powering the base, and that's when the director's emergency plan comes into effect.
Start the next cycle.
That's gonna damage the facility. We need all the power we can get.
Start the next cycle now.
Cycle 107 has now started, and it's coming to hunt you down. So before they can get anything ready, you head to the cloning chamber, and you find chambers with a lot of clones inside them. And finally here, you're introduced to the final boss of the game, your replacement, 107.
Initiating cycle 107.
Terminate subject 106.
Your first encounter with 107 is in the cryo chamber with all of the other clone pods. The next one is in the next area where, once you defeat the Banshee members, you fight 107 again. Bombs are charged in the area and you're forced to disarm them. You now have no arm, and in-game you can't dual wield, obviously, and you also cannot hold hostages anymore. Banshee squads make their final stand against you, and after you take them out, you make your way to the most important area in the facility. The room we saw prior, the Warhead Room. Before you reach it, the final drone floats in front of you. It verifies all the past drones that you've gotten: Site 14, Pandora, the Thermonuclear Warhead Room, Jorvik Castle, Site 83, Horizon HQ, and lastly, Syndicate Cloning Facility. The final message for you is, there is no extraction. Destroy the facility. You will be remembered. Break the cycle. Finally, the final fight against 107 goes down. I've mentioned these drones for a reason. If you find and interact with all of the drones, the game doesn't really end here. It's a bit of a secret or alternative ending. A data entry tells us that Subject 106's memories have been successfully compiled together and reconstructed.
Welcome back, 6. We're not done with you yet.
Now, we don't really know which ending is canon, but I like to believe that this one is. I also cannot confirm that this is Lazar. It just really does sound like him. At the very start of the game, we might remember how Horizon was attempting a brain transplant. With this intel, there's mentions of rewiring a brain to match another, with the help of the memory transplant technology that they've already had. If you remember, 106 has some of his memories transplanted into a volunteer's brain. If at least a small portion of 106's brain wasn't fucking disintegrated, considering, he was right in front of that nuke, it may be possible that any salvaged memories were transplanted into a different body. If Lazar really is this unidentified voice, then whatever Dr. Marcus installed at the penthouse worked. And there you go, that's the story of Trepang2, a game filled with UFOs, cryptids, shadow people, zombies, cults, what seems to be a Kraken extinction event, anomaly, containment squads, the borderline fucking Illuminati, and just about anything that you can consider paranormal. Like, do you see why this video belongs on this channel now? It's an absolute perfect fit. I have one final section, and it's just for me to go over anything that was left unanswered that just kind of tingles my brain. Is Raven still alive? So, we're not told that Raven died, but we can assume that he did, right? Well, I don't know, honestly, because games and movies tend to operate on no body, no death. Also, one of the devs implied that he didn't die, stating that no one really dies in video game helicopter crashes. How did 106 even get captured? I think this is the most obvious question, and it's not a bad thing that we don't know. It's just, since this is how the game starts, it just leaves us wondering. How did the Patriarch even get into the cult? Considering the Syndicate not only wants the Patriarch dead, but they also want the cult out of the way. How long has he even been there? How long have they known about this cult? And obviously, how the fuck did he even get in there? It is believable that the Patriarch was sent in to destroy the cult and it took it over instead. Considering that the cult has some sort of freaky knowledge, maybe the Syndicate wanted that info, but they needed the cult out of the way. It does make some sort of sense, send someone in to gain their power and trust, only to destroy it from within. How long has the Syndicate even been around? The Patriarch calls the Syndicate desert wanderers during their past, and I'm pretty sure that the logs from the 1800s are Syndicate logs, especially given the hooded figure with a sword description in one of them. This question is genuinely mine. Like, I haven't seen anyone really ask this, but did the Patriarch and Lazar both know that they were subjects of the Syndicate? Like, did they both know the other was a cycle? Is that really why they ended up working together for a short period? Like, I get why Lazar kind of betrays the cult. You can't have anyone know you're there, so leave no witnesses. Just how long was 105 active? Emerson and Lazar both regard you as 105, so why is it that previous cycles know 105? This is also a huge stretch, but the hooded figure in the intel log about the guy who went insane and got killed, is that supposed to be 105? That would only be possible if the use of time travel was a thing in this game. If Syndicate so far is just a bunch of squads with different purposes, what are they really a part of? Like, who's running this thing? This game does a really good job of continuously raising questions about the Syndicate. It really emphasizes they are a shadow company, government type of thing. Illuminati, okay? All of that out of the way. I love this game. That shit is fire. I make a really big mistake in never writing out what I say at the end, but absolutely, I love this game to death. It's everything I could have ever wanted in a game, like, genuinely. It's very simple, it's cool as fuck, and damn, that shit's fire. Also, it is called Trepang2. A lot of people call it Trepang Squared. It's not. This is how the head dev calls it.
So, Wilson, for our audience, could you give us just a brief description of who you are, what you're about, what you've worked on?
Yeah, so I guess okay, brief introduction. So yeah, for me, I'm the lead developer of Trepang2, this game you can see Mikey is playing right here. So I guess being an indie developer, I did a whole bunch of stuff. I was in charge of programming, production. I did most of the VFX, sound design, and a little bit of everything else. And then yeah, it was just me and three other dudes, two Brandons and Jacob, just my friends working on this crazy game, and here we are. It's kind of surreal.
I will take the word of the head dev rather than someone on the internet. I guess I could say this. If Trepang2 does release another DLC, I won't add it to this. I won't make another video. I won't make a follow-up video unless there is a sequel, and that sequel ends up with DLC as well. In which case, I'll go over that game, its DLC, and then eventually just make a supercut with both of them. This is undoubtedly going to be my longest video. It's already like an hour and a half raw footage? Huh. Actually, no, it's not. It's 2.5 hours raw footage. Oops. Played this game at the very beginning, like the very first week of 2024, despite buying it in the Christmas prior. So this video has been a year in the making, essentially. It's just, I didn't really plan on actually doing it until the Blade Kisser DLC actually came out. Ever since then, I played the DLC, and then I realized, I fucking love this game to death. Let me actually platinum it. So yeah, I did that. I platinum Trepang on PlayStation. An experience. But yeah, there's really nothing left for me to say. I said everything I needed to say. Yeah, that's the story of that game, bro. Holy fuck. I pray to God that there is a sequel someday. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you gotta do it now. I guess they could take their time. I still play Trepang, just normally. That's just the kind of games I like, right? Let me shoot everything on screen, right? I'm not a hardcore gamer, bro. Like, if you leave me to my own devices, I'm not turning that PlayStation on for a good while. I'm not doing that in any sense. I'm just not. Right? So to get me a game I actually thoroughly want to play, that's incredible. That's an incredible feat from anybody. So, yeah, Trepang did it. So, with all that out of the way, yeah, break the cycle. Do it. And lastly, I can just say, bye.